Ladies and gentlemen, old fan, that's me, and DragonBallToys.com proudly present to you one of the greatest toys ever made. The one, the only, the incomparable Epoch Muscle Tower!
Goku!
行くぞ最上階へ頑張ってゴク分かった
手に汗握る大熱戦エポック社のドラゴンボールマッスルタワーの戦い
And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Epoch Muscle Tower, the one, the only. I was lucky enough to pick this up last year, and it is the greatest gem in my collection. I am so absolutely proud to have this thing. I really am not exaggerating. It probably is the greatest Dragon Ball toy ever made. It's probably the largest Dragon Ball toy ever made. You guys might remember this Goku that came out last year. He's about, 15, 16 inches tall. I know this thing is in the box already, and I'll compare them out of the box too, but you can see how much this box just towers over this Goku. And aside from being the best and aside from being the biggest, it probably also has some of the finest packaging ever on a Dragon Ball toy, but we'll get to more on that later. For those of you that don't remember, we spoke about Epoch before. In one of actually my first videos on YouTube, I reviewed Epoch Goku, really one of the first Goku figures ever made. Epoch was the first Dragon Ball toy company. They were the first toy company ever to start producing Dragon Ball toys. They originally had the license, I think sort of for half of 1985 and for half of 1986, and then Bandai got the license. And of course Bandai still has the license and has made, literally thousands of Dragon Ball toys. Epoch didn't make quite so many toys in their 1 year of having the license, but they really did make some of the greatest, the most sought after, and the most expensive. Let's take a better look at this box. This is the front. Great image of Goku, as you can see. The full tower, some of the big players in that part of the series. I mean, the Muscle Tower part of the series is a pretty forgotten part of the series in some ways, so to see it immortalized like this is just, it touches the heart of every gigantic Dragon Ball toy fan, just Dragon Ball fan in general, doesn't it? And this side of the box, you can see some of the floors. It sort of tells you what happens on each floor, who Goku fights. Again, beautiful packaging design, and just so colorful. It's basically Epoch's legacy. It's just unbelievable packaging design. All of their toys had great, incredibly colorful packaging. Other side of the box, as you can see, equally beautiful. Shows what happens on some of the levels. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this, but right there is the Epoch logo, and it actually does say that it came out in 1986, so this is must have been made actually right before they lost the license. And the back of the box is super special because you can actually see what the entire toy looks like, because you can see there's that snow base for and Goku pole vaulting onto the tower. All the little minifigures and stuff that you get with it. Isn't that just amazing? You guys getting excited for me to open it? I bet you are. One last detail, this is the top of the box, and as you can see it says, The Battle of Muscle Tower. Alright, I'm being really good. I'm trying not to talk about the box too much. Let's just open the thing up, shall we? We can open them up by this flap. And as soon as we do, we're greeted to this adorable little picture of Goku running. And I'm just going to turn this off while I get him out of the box, because it's a little bit complicated. And here it is in all of its glory. It is a beast, is it not? Now, it still has some of its packaging parts on it. We'll take those off in a minute, but before I do that, I want to show you sort of everything else that it comes with. Quick comparison, as you can see, it towers, being a Epoch Muscle Tower and all, above this Banpresto Goku, which I think currently is the biggest toy that's come out, in quite a while. It's also much bigger than those AB giant figures, so I really do think that it is the tallest, biggest, most massive, most just amazing Dragon Ball toy ever released. It comes with so many different accessories. This is the base. It's supposed to be snow, and the entire tower sort of fits into this base and acts as a platform. It kind of can't right now because, as I said, some of the packaging is still on top of it. And it's got this little pole. This is supposed to be Noibo. And you can actually attach like a rubber, which I'll show in a minute, these little rubber figures that this toy comes with, so that Goku can sort of pole vault onto Muscle Tower. It actually snaps back rather nicely. I'm trying to be a little bit careful because I do not want to break this thing, but that's the base. Little instruction sheet, of course, doesn't really do that much good, but Kind of nice to have little nice drawings of it. Bunch of stickers and tons of these little bags of accessories. And here you've got gun turrets, you've got milk crates, you've got cups and saucers and plates, little folding chairs, ladders, these little things. I think they're bombs on sprues. Now, I'm gonna say this right now, and you guys are gonna have to excuse me. I am not willing to open up these bags. I'm willing to take the thing out. I'm willing to take these packaging parts off of it, but you know, this is probably the rarest Dragon Ball toy I own. I would never sell it, but it is worth quite a bit of money from what I understand. And I'm not really into destroying the value of it. I love having it in as pristine condition as possible. So I'll let you guys know what's in these little things, but I'm not gonna open them up. I think you guys will understand, and I apologize to anybody who's really disappointed in that though. Now there was one bag that I did open. I forgot what this chemical reaction is called, but basically when two different types of plastic come in contact with each other, it causes one of the plastics to basically sort of melt. And that's what happened here. When I first got the toy, I opened up the box just to sort of take a look at everything, and I noticed that this cannon was like really damaged, and I don't know if you guys can see that properly. See how it's like real lumpy and bumpy, and the plastic looks like it got burned? Well, that was because some of these little, here, I'll grab one real quick. It was because it came packaged with these little rubber toys, these little Keshi toys. And for whatever reason, when these types of plastic come in contact with each other, there's some kind of chemical reaction where they melt each other. And actually, I don't know if you can see it, but you can actually see some of the plastic from this on this guy sort of melted onto him, which is rather unfortunate. So I did have to open that one to save it, but that was the only one that I have any intention whatsoever of opening up. So, okay, you saw the cannon. This is a huge bag in here. Let's see, can we open this one up? No. There's all kinds of vents and rocks, and I think that's a bottle of wine or beer, and I mean, there's just so much little stuff that you can put into this thing. And I'll show you in a little bit. It's sort of like a dollhouse almost, where you can set up, you know, all the little things. You know, I gotta say, there really aren't too many Dragon Ball play sets. You know, we talked about one. I mean, I showed you guys my Tenkaichi Budokai play set from Bandai. There are other Tenkaichi Budokai sets. Most of them are horrible, as you guys know. There's several vehicles, there's several little sort of worlds for minifigures, but this has to be the best one. I mean, it has to be the largest one, as I said. They're just really not that many, and it's kind of upsetting. I know this bag was open, I guess, so we got another cannon. This one actually got some of that melty plastic problem too. There's a little handcuffs, I guess, for the professor. A little bomb, some sort of little ladder, I think that is. And I think this is some kind of table. And then for the top of the tower, we have one huge gun turret. And then on top of that, you get bags and bags and bags of these little Keshi figures. We've talked about these a little bit in my press reviews. These are really, really, really popular in Japan. And actually, Bandai is putting out a new series of these. They're actually like Keshified, if that's even a word, versions of Bandai HG figures. But these are basically the first of their kind for Dragon Ball. And you get a nice assortment of characters. You got Bullion, the Professor, there's Mirasaki, there's Hachan, several characters' names I can't even remember, quite honestly. Tons of Gokus. Incidentally, I think that Epoch was the only Dragon Ball toy company to make their Keshi figures this color. This sort of like nice blue-green color. So that's the color of most Keshi figures, but for Epoch, they're always this like sort of bluish-green color. And they're sort of designed to be painted. I mean, actually on the back of the box, you can see that, you know, whoever did the advertisement painted them. So there's another great way that you can play with Epoch Muscle Tower, is that you can actually paint all of these individual minifigures and then have them in the set looking all exactly the way you want, which is great.